Hi there.
Hi, good morning. Welcome to Curious Collection. I'm Will.
I'm Cinnamon.
Today we're going to talk about, actually, it was a question that was put to us by Donna. And Donna actually, coincidentally, bought some jewelry recently. So I want to show everyone what she picked up, just because these are really
really are. So these are, and she's bought a purple bubblegum necklace before. And so this time she's got both the orange and the green. And these colors are so bright and vibrant and like super shiny acrylic beads. They are absolutely amazing. And then also with these particular types of necklaces and looking forward, I would probably do this, but it's very Barbie core. So again, we talk about those keywords, things to try to keep things fresh, and to get more people to see your product. So if they're looking for that Barbie core look, these are so very iconic. So thank you so much, Donna. That is an awesome, awesome pickup. I'm so glad you're going to love them. I'm so excited for you.
Those are vintage, and you know that they're vintage
because if you take a look at this barrel clasp, it's very much in that 60s, 70s era. So, and then these also are all individually strung onto the string. So they're really, really great pieces. She's really going to enjoy that.
Yeah. So Donna's question, we had kind of mentioned it the other day about platform risk and diversification and a way that we can protect ourselves. So she was like, oh, you guys have been suspended. Like, I hadn't heard that before. So yes, we have been suspended. And so first of all, if you're ended up on this video because you've had a banned item or a prohibited item or an item that is illegal to sell or an item that was restricted, taken down, there's a lot of different verbiage that eBay will use. I want you to know, first and foremost, you're not a bad person. Mm-hmm. Mistakes happen. These types of items we've had happen to us several times where an item will be removed from a listing will be removed. And it usually comes with some type of legalese jargon that explains why your item was removed, but not in detail. Mm-hmm. And there's a reason. Legally speaking, eBay does not want to give away the game. They don't want to tell you specifically why your item was removed. They'll just tell you that it violates the specific policy and that you should read the policy and understand, basically read between the lines as to why your item was removed. So we've got a list of items here that we want to talk about. I've got some examples and some experiences that we've had directly with this. Now, we're not going to go into the entirety of the VERO list and name every single brand. Be aware that brands have the ability to block you from selling them. So if you receive a VERO notice, don't post anything from that brand. Mm-hmm. So with regard to that, we were at a local thrift store. This is probably 2 years ago. And they had a huge selection of brand new in package cabin air filters for a variety of vehicle models. And they were all Champion brand, which is a quality brand in air filters. And we don't sell car parts, but I thought, what a great opportunity. Mm-hmm. I went to school for auto mechanics when I was young. And I thought, you know what? This is a great part that needs to be replaced regularly on your car. You need to change it probably once a year, depending on how much you use your air. It's cheap. Our entry price on them was $2 a piece.
Yeah.
Some of these filters can go for up to $65. So what a great opportunity for us to, get this, make some money. So going into this category, I went and I listed every single one. I said Champion air filter, cabin air filter, and I put the model of the vehicle and the years that it would fit. And I did not put the word fits. Nissan contacted us about 2 different filters. And they were claiming VERO and stating that, for us to use that, to post that filter, it needs to have the word fits and the vehicle model and make number in order to comply with their policy. So they're basically alleging that we're selling counterfeit parts for a Nissan. That obviously was not the case. It clearly stated that it was a Champion brand filter. and that it would fit that car. It just lacked the term fits.
In the title.
In the title.
Yeah.
It had to be in the title. Now, I don't play games. You don't want me selling products that fit your vehicle. I literally took every single Champion listing down. They're no longer on eBay.
Yep.
I didn't sell them on eBay.
We
I sent them to the local auction house because I'm not going to play the game.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want me selling in that category, you've made it clear. We're done.
Mm-hmm.
Another thing that happened to us is that about 4 years ago, we were selling Corningware. Now, people didn't have the opportunity to get out to the flea markets and thrift stores. So there was a lot of demand, at least in my opinion, and I had supply. So I was able to pick up different types of Corningware and was doing very well in Corningware.
Yeah, you really were.
And so I had picked up a Corningware coffee pot. Now it was complete. It was very clean. It didn't look like it had any damage on it at all. It was pristine. And I listed up, and it's up for, a few weeks, and I get a notification that it's been taken down because of a recall, which is interesting because this pot is 40 years old.
Mm-hmm.
It turns out in 1978, there was a recall on this specific coffee pot. And it was because the lid was pressed on and there's a piece of rubber around the top that would hold it on. And what would happen is that people would leave it on the stovetop for too long. It would overheat. They would pick up the handle being pressed on with the lid, and it would dump hot coffee all over them. Obviously, terrible. Yeah, I'm completely oblivious to this because
how would you know that this thing was
alive in 1978? So, this situation, I go, okay, well, clearly I don't want to mess with that.
Right.
And I got rid of the product. I didn't try to put it back on the platform, nothing like that. A few weeks later, I find a different coffee pot. I check the model number. I check the design style. It all complies. And I post it up. eBay knocks it down, says that I have violated this recall. I call in and talk to customer service. So this is when I'm going to do my customer service rant. eBay customer service, in my opinion, this is just me, but in my opinion, they are not competent or authorized to do anything that the computer does not allow them to do. The business is run by computers, in my opinion, and humans are not given autonomy to make any decisions. Mm-hmm. So asking them to do something like remove a negative or asking them to do something like, override a prohibited or banned item, they're not going to do that. They don't have the authority to do that.
Because the computer already
made the decision. They lack the ability to have any type of hearing, any type of recourse to appeal. This is a major problem, in my opinion, as a seller on that platform. They don't have it. They don't want to do it because if they allow that to happen, they're going to put themselves in legal jeopardy. Mm-hmm. So they just say, no, blanket. That's the rule. If we've decided it's banned, it's done. So I would say it was about 3 months later. I'm not selling coffee pots at all on the platform because I've decided that it is
right. Because it wasn't that. The first one, yes, it was the coffee pot that was recalled. Okay, so sorry, won't do that again. The second coffee pot was not that coffee pot.
Right.
It was not recalled.
Totally different
Nothing
model
wrong.
number.
Right. It was a different type of, everything was different. It was not recalled.
It was manufactured after the recalled period.
Right.
Because they had changed the design. Again, I can't talk to AI. I can't talk to the computer. I can't explain to someone in another country who's never even seen this coffee pot how very different they are. Mm-hmm. So I don't sell coffee pots anymore.
Right.
Then I list up a dish. It's a small baking dish. And I get suspended for 3 days because they're claiming that I listed something they told me not to list that was prohibited because it was a recalled item. Now, again, I can't do anything about it. I'm dead in the water. My business is now suffering. I had to go 3 days. I couldn't list anything. The only thing I could do is if I had a sale, I could ship that item out. Otherwise, you're done.
Mm-hmm. For a bowl.
Over a bowl that was not recalled.
Right.
and had nothing to do with that very first item.
Yeah.
So
we no longer sell Corningware.
We don't sell Corningware.
Mm-mm.
Again, it's not worth the hassle. It's not worth jeopardizing my business and my income over a product that I have a choice not to sell.
Right.
So the next thing I want to talk about is jewelry. And we've had some challenges selling jewelry.
We have. So bone is allowed, if it is bovine bone, it is allowed to be sold on the platform. Ivory is obviously not allowed to be shipped or sold on the platform. So, and I understand that they have to be careful that, they're not killing cute little elephants.
Again, this all goes back to the 90s, where they actually had banned the sale and transport and trade in ivory in order to eliminate or at least reduce poaching of protected and endangered animals. And that's absolutely understandable. And, thank goodness that they do stuff to try to protect animals.
Right. But some of like the Native American jewelry or some of the antique jewelry, they will use bovine bone as a, because the ivory was so expensive, so they were using cheaper alternatives, and so they would use, the bovine
You've actually got
bone.
an example up here.
I do. So this is a dyed piece, and I'm not certain if it is bovine bone or not. But I do know some of the listings do call it bone, dyed bone. So I'm just not going to list it at all, because we've had pieces that I identified as bovine bone, and they got pulled down because they said that even with the close-up pictures, they couldn't tell through a picture whether it was what the animal was that it came from. So because they can't tell through a picture, they took down my listings, even though I fixed it and I said bovine bone, all of that. Nope.
So we've had multiple incidents related to ivory, related to bone. So we had a piece that was similar in composition.
Right.
And it was painted.
It was enamel. So it was 1000%. It had like the metal on the inside, and then this part here was just cream colored enamel. It was like a J. Crew bangle. Like that was all that it was. It was just cream enamel. And I put in there cream enamel, and they pulled that one because they're like, oh, well, it could be bone. But it was enamel. I told you it was cream enamel. But because I used the term cream, that's how, because if you go online, you'll see people selling bone jewelry. And
sometimes they will try to slip ivory jewelry by calling it cream colored.
Right. So again, now I don't use the term cream. I don't use bone. I don't use any of those.
And we don't sell anything that could even look like it's ivory. And so that's one of the things, is that early on in the 20th century, jewelry was made of ivory, high-end jewelry. And so then they started creating these alternative materials to simulate the look of ivory, because it was perceived to have value and to be high end. So you've got another piece up there, and I want to show everybody that. And so we're not listing this one either.
Right. So this is a celluloid piece, which is an early plastic. And you can tell because you can see that the heat has bent it. But this is celluloid, like I said, which was an early plastic. It's called a bridal cake bracelet, but because it's cream, it's that off-white color, there's no way that I'm going to be able to list it, because they could possibly knock me for trying to sell ivory.
Right. So if we use the idea, when in doubt, stay out. Like, just don't mess around with categories or with items that could at all get you in trouble.
Yeah.
And I know for a lot of sellers that this is a real challenge, and it is for us as well. So another category.
It's super scary.
Yeah. Another category that we sell is license plates. And when I say that we do sell, we used to sell. I don't source them anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in the process of eliminating the little category, the small amount that I have left. And it's two different things that are going on within the license plate category. So I'm going to show you one example here. This is a Florida license plate. You can see that it says U.S. Navy on it. Okay, I had a similar plate that said U.S. Army. According to eBay, that falls under the prohibited U.S. government items. They were claiming that it was a United States Army license plate that I was attempting to sell, and that someone would put that on their vehicle and pretend to be a government agent and use it for possibly nefarious reasons. So I stopped picking up, and this is state of Florida. This is a state of Florida issued plate. You get this plate when you go to the DMV and you tell them that, yeah, I'm a veteran. I want to support my branch of the military, and I'll pay you $50 extra to get this plate.
Mm-hmm.
It has nothing to do with the U.S. Army except for the money that is derived from this. You don't even
have to be a veteran.
No, the money that they get goes to help to veterans.
Right.
It has nothing to do.
I have one that has sharks on it, and it supports, the fish and wildlife or whatever it is.
So that's one issue that we had with license plates. Another issue we had with license plate is that we had a vanity plate that is not a state issued plate, but it looked like a state issued plate. I know it's vanity because the terminology on the plate said go to hell. Okay? There's no way a human being.
And there is a Hell, Michigan. Right. So you would go to Hell, Michigan, right?
Yes.
And in their little tourist trap shops,
yes, they would sell
something that says go to hell.
Right. So the reason I got in trouble is because I didn't say that the license plate was expired. So under their policy, if you sell a license plate, you have to say in the description, now whatever you have in the title doesn't matter, has to be in the description that that license plate has been expired for 3 or more years. I did not know that when I first started out. I got dinged on the first 20 license plates or something ridiculous that I had listed. And so now we're into that stage where they're going, okay, if you have one more screw up, you're going to be kicked off the platform. It's not worth it for me. So I've got an example here of what we had. This says Michigan up north. Okay. Anyone from Michigan knows that an up north plate, that's not real. Mm-hmm. This is not a real plate. Just like the USA Chicago Windy City is not a real plate, right? These were manufactured by different companies to look like a legitimate real plate.
Right.
This one says on it, not for official use. I mean, a human being would be able to determine that that's not
Especially
real.
Because like the go to hell plate, we literally had it listed in vanity plates. Right. It wasn't even listed in the state plates.
Right. So these plates here that I have in front of me aren't listed.
Nope.
I'm not going to put that on the platform. eBay is going to miss out on the sales of these items because of their restrictive policy. And that is on them. That's not on me.
But we can't talk to a computer.
Right.
There's no...
The computer can't understand. And the representatives are not authorized to override the computer. So we're just not going to sell license plates.
Yep.
So another area that we've had issues with is profanity and nudity. Okay. So we sell photographs. We've had issues with very mild photographs. We've had issues with completely appropriate photographs. And some of it revolves around title terminology, and some of it revolves around whatever the AI thinks that it sees. So there is a very specific policy on eBay with regard to adult material and nudity. So read that over. I'm not going to use those keywords because those words aren't even allowed on YouTube. But there are certain words that you cannot use in your titles and certain images you cannot show on eBay. We had a photograph that was taken for the AP. So it is
Associated
Press photo, as in appropriate for the newspaper of the time. And it was
1940s,
right.
early
A girl
40s.
fell in a tar pit. She's in the bathtub, getting the tar washed off of her next to the dog, which fell in the tar pit as well. eBay sends us a statement stating that the item has been removed and that it is child pornography.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly appropriate for the newspaper, but not for eBay. Okay, I get it.
Right. Well,
Fine. I'm not going to contest it. I have nowhere to go to talk to anybody about it. So
Mm-hmm.
the item comes down, and what choice do I have but to destroy it?
Mm-hmm.
People ask us about Playboys. We sell Playboy magazines. That is, in my opinion, more of a pornographic type item.
Mm-hmm.
But it's allowed on the platform so long as you don't show certain types of nudity in your pictures.
Yeah.
So,
and there's certain words like, there'll be the title of the article. I know we've gotten dinged on because the article is, so-and-so full NUDE. And, that word, even though the image on the cover was fine, it was clothed, it was totally appropriate, because we put the article that said that word, then they pulled the whole listing.
Right. So it's not fair. There's no contesting it. It just is.
Yeah.
And
so if it does happen to you, like he said, like, it happens to all of us, because there's no way that you could possibly know and comply with all of the rules. And then even when you do know and comply with all of the rules, sometimes the AI is like, no.
Yeah, it gets confused, I think. I legitimately think it gets confused. If it's a computer and it sees this plate, does it understand that that's not a legitimate state license plate? It looks like it.
It looks similar enough.
It looks like it, but does it understand? Does it have a sense of humor?
And
does it
just
understand
because
go to hell?
Somebody else can sell it doesn't mean that they're not going to ding you. Because that Michigan go to hell license plate, we got dinged on it, and then we took it to the auction house. A friend bought it, and she sold it for $40.
Right.
And we're like, that's not fair.
Right. Yeah. She bought it. She sold it on eBay, and she sold it for $40. We sold it at the auction for $5.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. It's not fair.
No, it's not.
You're better safe than sorry.
Yes. So there are certain categories in general, like license plates, that we're just not going to sell anymore. And like I said, now I have to be careful with anything I have that is cream color, because it has to be super, super visible through a computer that an AI isn't going to mistake it for ivory. Right.
And it does tell you on there, oh, well, you can add photos and then you can relist on that specific item. Now, if it's certain types of other stuff,
it'll tell you cannot relist this item.
Relist it. On the jewelry, it does give you an opportunity to relist it with better photos. But the reality is, we have a microscope, we have the light box, we try to take very good pictures.
Absolutely.
And without a DNA sample, legitimately, you're not going to be able to determine if it's bovine or if it's deer or if it's whale.
Right. So
you're just
that's
not.
it. Yeah, we're totally out of that category as well. And again, there's been some really amazing pieces that I see other people selling them for hundreds of dollars, and I am not gonna I'm just not gonna go there, and we have to take it to the auction house and get pennies on the dollar.
Yeah.
Because how else am I supposed to get rid of it?
Right. The reality is that there is enough items out there that you can sell that it's not worth risking your account. So I am curious as to what other types of experiences people are seeing out there with regard to eBay and their banned and prohibited items, or certain restrictions that you have.
Yeah.
And please drop us a message in the bottom. Share that for the community.
Right.
And because, so that we all know.
Yeah. You only know what has already happened to you. You know what I mean? I didn't know any of these items would be an issue until we got hit. And so if we can kind of save each other from getting those.
I never would have thought a vanity license plate that was humorous
or
would possibly get me in trouble.
Bowl,
right. A bowl. I mean, I didn't think the coffee pot was going to get me in trouble until I did. And then apparently the replacement one got me in trouble too. So you can't even get away with getting away with doing it the right way.
And it's probably because we got hit with the first one of the Corningware that they now are like, I don't know. This is just a supposition. I don't know how it works. Whether, because we got hit with the first Corningware, they're like super restrictive on our account. So now the Corningware bowl is what got us hit. Same thing with the bone. So I don't know whether because it was already like we got hit the first time and now they're like really scrutinizing our store for anything that might be. And that's why the enamel one got brought down too. I have no idea.
Yeah, no clue. So like I said, subscribe, please comment down below with your personal experiences on things that will get you in trouble and will get the rest of us in trouble too. Save us all some headaches.
All right. Thanks, guys. Good luck to you out there.